Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Meydan Racecourse here on Saturday. It's the 7th of March 2020, and I'm going to look at all the races here on Super Saturday from Meydan. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also join me today for my Santa Anita handicap preview video. Also check out my Gotham preview from Aqueduct. And while we're here promoting, Cheltenham starts on Tuesday, and of course I'll have previews and selections for all those race cards here on YouTube. But we have 7 races on tonight's card from Meydan Super Saturday. All these races are prep races for the World Cup night coming up in 3 weeks. So let's get to the action. We have a lot of races, and it looks like it's going to be a fun card. The first race, local prep race for the UAE Derby. It is the Bastakiya Stakes. It's a listed stakes going for a purse of $300,000. Races for 3-year-olds only. 19 horses are entered, but 16 could go to the post. A distance of ground of 1,900 meters or a mile and 3/16 on the dirt course. The top selection, we're going to go take the 11 horse Zabardast. I'm going to go 11-3-7 in the tri-cash trifecta. 11-3-7 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 11 horse Zabardast. 3-year-old colt by Carpe Diem. Miguel Barcelona's on this one here. The horse's most recent outing came the 6th of February here at Meydan. 1 mile in the Group 3 UAE 2000 guineas, and even a second by 1 3/4 lengths. He was drawn in the parking lot day, 16 of 16, but he got over, early on. He's towards the backpack most race, had a great final quarter. He nearly got to 4 left, but this horse gained a lot of ground that day. Wasn't the world's worst run. Back to a 2-turn round. He could be drawn a little bit better. I would like to Miguel Barcelona find some speed with this horse. If he could find some speed, I think he could win. Before that, he ran in the Bastakiya trial here at Meydan, 23rd January, mile 3/16 on the dirt, and he finished 3rd by 6 lengths. He was moving a little bit that day, but again, he was drawn very wide, 16 of 16, especially 2 turns here. You need to be drawn a lot better than he was, but I've still seen worse races. And then it made on 6 furlongs in a conditions race back in the 9th of June. 9th of January. Finished 7th by 5.5 lengths to win a Platinum Stars. Very good Godolphin horse, who I think might have a good, future at those mile 6 furlong trips, something like that. But this horse, he needed the race for experience. With every single race, he's been getting better. The distance isn't a problem. I think the thing with him today will be, can he get a good trip from the outside post at 5-1? I'm going to expect him to. I also think you have to use the 3-horse laser show on the multi-race or the place pots. Christophe Soumillon's on this one for Simon Zor and Godolphin. The horse's most recent outing, though, in the 2000, locally, the UAE 2000 guineas here at Meydan, 1 mile, February the 6th, he ran horribly that afternoon. He stalked early on, but then he hit the wall, finishing 10th by 9 lengths with blinkers on. It was a horrible run. Before then, the Bastakiya trial, he won by 4.5 lengths, and he got a good trip from a wide posture. He stalked, he got lead, then he just took off clear. That was a very good run, but that last race was disgusting. Maybe the route trip he wants. He's drawn very well. He'll probably get good position. It wouldn't surprise me if he would go wide wire at 8-1. Let's take him here also. Like I said, the horse you definitely want to use in that place pod. But to recount my selection for the first from Meydan, it's the Bastakiya. Let's take as a top selection the 11 horse Zabardast. We'll go 11-3-7 in the tri-cash trifecta, 11-3 in the place pot or the multi-race wager. Let's get to the second race. Local prep race for the Golden Shaheen is race number 2 from Meydan. It's the Group 3 Mahab Al Shimaal Stakes. Group 3 event going for a purse of $350,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 15 horses are entered, but only 14 could go. 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the dirt course. Top selection, we'll take the 5-horse Switzerland. We'll go 5-13-2 in the tri-cash trifecta. 5-13-2 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection of 5-horse Switzerland. Pat Dabbs is on the 6-year-old horse by Spice Town. Doug Watson trains. The horse's most recent outing, a race he desperately needed first off the break, came on the 13th of February here made on 6 furlongs and a handicap, and he finished 7th by 13 3/4 lengths, and he had nothing. He stalked most of the race, and it just not even stalked. He sat towards back most race and just had nothing. Never quickened up. Something I noticed about following these races in the UAE, Doug Watson runners usually need their first, especially the better Doug Watson runners. They probably need their first race off the break. Second off the break, if he's a little bit more forwardly placed, I think he'll get a very good trip here today. Start prior, he ran 30th of March here at Meydan on World Cup night, 6 furlongs in the Group 1 Al-Quaz Sprint, and he finished 8th by 9.5 lengths. Excuse me, not the Al-Quaz Sprint. He ran the Golden Shaheen last year and we finished 8th by 9.5 lengths, and that afternoon he didn't break all that well, and that probably cost him. He just never really could recover, and those were you have to be honest, with some very tough sprinters, not what he's normally facing locally. And then he ran in this race last year where he finished fifth by 2 3/4 lengths there. And he stalked that day. He had a lead for a split portion, but he just couldn't keep the momentum going. He hit the wall in the straightaway. And then before that, he ran in the here Meydan handicap last February. Finished second by 2.5 lengths. And that day, he just couldn't get the good turn of foot, but he still ran a terrific race. He's probably going to start today. He'll be a lot fresher than he was the last few starts. At 6-1, I'm going to give him a strong chance here. Multi-race scenario, I think you also have to use a 13-horse Ibian Malik. Jim Crowley's on this one. This horse hasn't won so far this season. With this year, he won during the UAE season. It started in November or October, where he won a list stakes here in Meydan in December. But his races at the Carnival haven't been half bad. He nearly won the Dubai Stakes behind Gladiator King, and then he nearly won the El Shandaga behind Gladiator King. Gladiator King's not running today. He's probably waiting for a Golden Shaheen. Gladiator, I believe he also ran last week in the Saudi Sprint. But this horse, he's been close to no cigar. I think the wide poster in this race doesn't really affect him so much because he has a lot of speed. At 4-1, he's also a likely winner. He definitely used him in that place pottery or multi-race wagers. But to recap my selection for the second one from Meydan, it's the Group 3 Mahab Al Shimaal Stakes. Let's take the 5-horse Switzerland. We'll go 5-13-2 in the tri-cash trifecta, 5-13 in the place potter in the multi-race. Let's get to the turf course with race number 3, it is the Group 3 Mahab Al Shimaal Turf Sprint. Group 3 event going for a purse of $350,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 18 horses entered, but only 16 can go 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs down the straightaway turf course. A very weird race. I think it's either the favorite's going to win or you're going to see a tiny bit of a price. And I mean a tiny bit of a price. As a top selection, I'm going to take the 14-horse Angel Alexander, but I also think, the 6-horse Space Blues could also get a piece of it, but we'll go 14-6-11 in the tri-cash trifecta. 14-6-11 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection of 14-horse Angel Alexander. This 4-year-old gelding by Dark Angel. Richard Kingscoat's on this one for Tam Dascombe. The horse is most recent out. He came 20th of February here in Meydan. 5 furlongs in the Group 2 Meydan Sprint, and he finished 6th by 3.5 lengths. And he had, he never quickened up for mid-pack. It looked like he was going to pounce it every time, but he didn't. It was a weird run. His last 2 races looked like he was just going to pounce. At Meydan before that, enlisted handicap, 6 furlongs, February the 6th. First off the break, okay, you expect him not to be 100% fresh, but he finished 5th by 5 lengths, and again, he just never quickened up there. Before then, the Group 3 Pre-Siena Oise Stakes of Maison Lafitte, 6 furlongs on yielding ground. He finished 2nd by a length, and going through his form guide, he doesn't really like soft ground, but he got over well. He quickened up a little bit that day from the front end. It wasn't the world's worst race for him. And then before that at Ayr, 6 furlongs on quite good ground for that time of year in a heritage handicap. He won by a half a length, drawn very wide that day, but he stalked, he got the lead, and then he took off clear. Very good run. Race before Chester, he was drawn a little bit too wide. Actually, 2 prior races, Chester just drawn a little bit wide. But when he finally had a good position, he had the speed to win at Chester in late July, winning by 6. That was a very impressive run, his best run of his life, I thought. He has the speed to win. He's drawn on the stand side here today, 10-1. Let's give him a shot. You also have to use the 6-horse Space Blues in the Godolphin Blue. Charlie Appleby trains one. William Buick gets them out. This horse's most recent outing came on the 4th of August at Deauville, 6.5 furlongs in the Group 1 Prix de Maurice de Guy Stakes, and he finished 3rd by a length. Advertised ran a terrific race this day, but this horse he stalked. He had a decent turn of foot late. He wasn't going to catch the 2 in front of him, but again, it wasn't the world's worst race for him. Before then, in the Prix Jean Prat at Deauville, 7 furlongs, July 7th, he finished 2nd by 3 lengths behind Too Darn Hot. Too Darn Hot, it was his swan sign, I believe, that day. Or was it? Didn't he run next start at Goodwood and win easily, then got injured? But Too Darn Hot just ran a terrific race. He finally found the old form for him. This horse, he placed behind a good horse, but before that, the horse placed in the Jersey Stakes at Ascot, won a listed stakes at Epsom very nicely, and won at York during the May Festival Dante meeting. He has the speed to win here, 4-5. He's drawn mid-pack, which is good. I think he also is a very likely winner, so I'll definitely use him on those place pots in those multi-races. But to recap my selection now for the 3rd from Meydan, it is the Group 3 Mahab Al Shimaal Turf Sprint, named after the old race course in Dubai. His top selection will take the 14-horse Angel Alexander. We'll go 14-6-11 in the tri-cash trifecta, 14-6 in the multi-race of the place pot. Let's get to the 4th race variant. Race number 4 from Meydan. It is the Group 3 Burj Nahaar Stakes. Group 3 event going for a purse of $350,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 12 horses are entered to go the distance of ground of 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the dirt course. The top selection here in the Burj Nahaar local prep race for the Godolphin Mile, I'm going to take the 3-horse Blitzkrieg. I'm going to go 3-4-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 3-4-1 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 3-horse Blitzkrieg. 5-year-old gelding by Warfront. Christoph Sumion gets on this one for Doug O'Neill. The horse's most recent outing came on the turf here at Meydan. 5 furlongs in the Group 2 Meydan Sprint, and he finished third by 2 lengths. He stalked early on. He had a decent turn of foot. He held his own out on the turf course. American-based runners here in the UAE on turf have horrible records, but this horse has been holding up against them. I don't think they've won on the turf here in the UAE, but for this horse to do well here on that turf race, in that very tough race, I thought it was impressive. Before then, listed handicap at Meydan, 6 furlongs on the lawn, 6th of February. He finished second by a length. Again, he sat back early, a decent turn of foot. He wasn't going to catch Rosamund, who ran a better race, but he still ran a terrific event there. And then they tried the horse first off in starting the UAE, 7 furlongs in the Group 2 Al Fahidi Ford. He finished 4th by 6 3/4 lengths there, and he just never quickened up. He started on the dirt once, though. That came in the Grade 1 Hollywood Gold Cup at Santa Anita, the mile and a quarter trip back in May. He finished 7th by 23 lengths. The winner, Vina Rosa, went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic at that same course and distance later in the year. Ran a terrific race. This horse just never really had a good run and was never really comfortable. He was with them early on, but it wasn't his day to win. Before that, he won the San Francisco Mile at Golden Gate very nicely, and then he won going down the Hillside Turf Course at Santa Anita very nicely. He has the speed to win here. He's drawn well. It wouldn't surprise me if Christoph Sumion just goes straight to the front end and see how long the speed could go. At 8-1, I'm going to give him another shot on dirt. Hopefully he doesn't get a lot of kickback in the face. So we'll use him here, and I think also another very likely winner is the 4-horse Kimbear. I was either going to put him or Blitzkrieg on top, and I got to this was the final race I really handicapped on today's card, because I kept going back to it, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to put on top. I decided with Blitzkrieg, but Kimbear, if I had to give to co-top section, it would be probably Kimbear. Pat Dobbs on this one for Doug Watson. He ran the Maktoum Challenge a few weeks ago here, going the mile 316 trips, where he ran horribly. Ben Battle ran a race of his life, one of his best races, not even getting to the bottom of him. But this horse just routing around 2 turns wasn't to his liking. I like him back to a 1-turn mile. He could definitely win here today. He's drawn well. He has the speed to win. At 4-1, we'll also use him on the place pod or the quaddy or the pick 4. The pick 4 begins with this race. So this race you definitely want to go too deep. But like I said, Blitzkrieg and Kimbar, I rate very highly in this race. So to recap my selection for the fourth race from Meydan, it's the Group 3 Burj Nahaar Stakes. Let's take the 3-horse Blitzkrieg. We'll also use the 4-horse Kimbear. We'll go 3-4-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, and we'll use the 3-4 in the pick 4, the quaddy, place pot, whatever you decide to call it. Let's just call it the multi-race. Let's get to race number 5 now. The 5th race from Meydan, it is the Group 1 Jebel Hatta Stakes. It's a Group 1 event going for a purse of $400,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 13 horses are entered to go the distance of ground of 1,800 meters or a mile and 1/8 on the turf course. Top selection, I have to take the 12-horse Barney Roy. We'll go 12-1-10 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 12-1-10 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, 12-horse Barney Roy, Godolphin Doan, Charlie Appleby trains. William Buick gets on this mount, the 6-year-old Gillenback Celebration. His most recent outing came 30th of January here in Meydan, a mile and 1/8 of the Group 2 Al Rashida Stakes, and the horse just won for fun, basically winning by 2.5 lengths. He stalked early on, he had a great turn of foot, and he just went away with it. It doesn't get any easier than that. It's very hard to explain. Go watch the replay. 2 back, though, in the Queen Anne at Royal Ascot, a mile on the 18th of June. A very wet ground. He was sent off as the 5-1 favorite, but he really never ran. He finished 8th by 5 lengths, and he just couldn't get there. I think he would have probably did a lot better on drier ground. And then before that, Longchamp, 23rd of May, 1 mile listed stakes. He won by a half length that day, and it was second race back to the races, and he did everything right. He didn't have the best of starts that day, but other than that, he quickened up nicely, and he got away with a good run. And then his seasonal reappearance, or his first race in nearly 3 years at Ascot, with 1 mile listed stakes. He finished second by a neck, and again he just missed Zaki, but he ran a terrific race. As a 3-year-old, he had some decent form. He was facing some tough horses there, but they took him to the mile and 8 last time. He handled the trip. I think he'll get a good trip here today. He's a very likely winner, along with the 1-horse Spatify, another his stablemate here for Godolphin. Charlie Appleby trains when James Doyle gets on this one. I like the horse second off the break here. He ran ran most recently in the Dubai Millennium Stakes 2 weeks ago here at Meydan, where he finished second by 8.5 lengths behind Gayatha, who just ran a terrific race again, winning for fun. Not facing Gayatha today, drawn well, being forwardly placed. I think he should get a good trip. Before that, he ran the Group 3 Prix La Coupe at Longchamp Mile Quarter in June. He finished third by 1.75 lengths, and that day he just never really got going, never quickened up. Before then, the Dubai City of Gold, a mile and a half on this night last year. He finished 7 by 5 lengths again, never got going. But I like him at the Mile Quarter trip. He is a course and distance winner. A course winner. He won the Dubai Millennium Stakes in 2019 very, very nicely, beating some tough horses home. And he actually won here before that, going a mile and a half. But I think here today, drawn well with the Mile Quarter trip, 5-1. I'll definitely use him on that pick 4 quaddy ticket. If you want to beat the favorite sometimes in the pick 4. So if Barney Roy doesn't show up, this horse at 5-1. He looks like he'll be a good thing to beat the favorite in the pick 4. But to recap my selection for the 5th from Meydan, it's to Group 1 Jebel Hatta. As a top selection, we'll take the 12 horse Barney Roy. We'll go 12, 1, 10 in the tri-cash trifecta. Use the 12 and the 1 in the multi-race, or the pick 4 quaddy, like I said, whatever you decide to call it. So now let's get to the 6th race from Meydan. Race number 6 from Meydan, the feature race of the evening. It is the Group 1 Al Maktoum Challenge R3. It's going for a purse of $600,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Only 8 horses are going the distance of ground of 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the dirt course. Top selection, we'll take the 3 horse Matterhorn. We'll go 3-7-4 in the tri-cash trifecta. 3-7-4 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 3 horse Matterhorn, 5-year-old horse by Ravens Pass, who's best to be remembered by winning the 2008 Breeders' Cup Classic at Oak Tree at Santa Anita for Detori and Gosden. But Miguel Barcelona's on this one. The horse's most recent outing came here on the 13th of February, Meydan. 1 mile in the Group 3 Firebreak Stakes, his dirt debut. He finished third by 2 3/4 lengths. He stalked early on. He kind of hit the wall late, but it was his first start since October, so he probably needed the race, but I thought the dirt wasn't. I thought he was handling dirt quite well. Going to a mile and a quarter, which I think is his preferred trip of ground, I think he'll be right there at the finish. Before that, he ran the Group 3 Darley Stakes in Newmarket, a mile and 8th, 12th of October, and he finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths. Sent off as a 7-2 favorite. He just was off and on the lead all throughout, and then he just kind of had nothing left in the tank late, never quickened up. Maybe the soft ground got to him, and then the Group 2 Clipper Logistics Boomerang Stakes at Leopardstown, 1 mile, September the 14th, finished second by a neck that day. He stalked, he had the lead, he got caught late, but he still ran a terrific race there. And then the Group 3 Superior Mile at Haydock, 1 mile on 7th of September. He finished second by 2 3/4 lengths there. And again, he stalked, he just couldn't get the good turn of foot. Again, maybe the soft ground got to him, but I like him here today. Mile and a quarter trip should suit him well. He could sit close. 3-1. We'll use him here along with the number 7 horse Roman Rosso. Tango Shays on this one. His most recent outing, his UAE debut, came in the Al Maktoum Challenge Round 2 here at Meydan a few weeks ago, the Mile 3/16 strips, where he finished 4th by 12 lengths there. And that evening, he was with the pace setters early on, setting the pace, but then Ben Battle got to him. But for his first start off a year break, I thought he ran okay, decently. It could have been a lot worse. Before that, he ran Santa Anita, February 2019, a mile and a quarter in the San Marcos, where he finished 11th by 7/4 lengths there. And he was with them early on, but then dueled a little bit, and then just kind of hit the wall late, went a little bit too fast. And then before that, at Santa Anita, 1 mile on the turf course, or excuse me, on the dirt course, and allowance race, the wild trip. He just finished 6th by 21 lengths there. The winter battle midway went on to win the San Antonio. And sadly, we lost him last winter, but he got beat by a better horse there. His North America debut came in the Del Mar in the Pacific Handicap, where he just really didn't, Pacific Classic, where he didn't really have a good trip. But I like him here. He can sit closer. 12-1. We'll use him on a multi-race ticket in the SWAT race with the 4-horse Desert Fire. Christophe Soumillon's on this one. His last race in particular was horrible. A mile and a half on the turf. Of course, here Meydan, he finished 11th by 13 lengths, not really showing up. Before that, in his here Meydan, a mile and a quarter on turf, of course, in handicap, finished 3rd by 1/4 lengths. And that day, I thought he ran decently, sitting closer. Looking over his races in the UK last summer, some of those races can win here. He's come to the dirt for the first time. I'm going to give him a chance. He's a wise guy horse. He's either going to handle the dirt or he's going to finish way out of it. Like I said, it's a bit of a wide open race. We'll use him there. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Meydan, it's the Group 1 Al Maktoum Challenge Round 3. As a top selection, we'll take the 3-horse Matterhorn. We'll go 3-7-4 in the tri-cash trifecta and use all 3 of those digits in the multi-race. Let's get to the nightcap race number 7 from Meydan. The nightcap, race number 7 from Meydan. It is the Group 2 Dubai City of Gold Stakes Group 2 event, going for a purse of $350,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 11 horses are entered to go the 2,400-meter journey, or a mile and a half on the turf course. 1 lap around that turf course. The top selection here, we're going to take the 6-horse Pablo Escobar. We'll go 6-10-1 in the tri-cast trifecta. 6-10-1 tri-cast trifecta. Top selection 6-horse Pablo Escobar. 4-year-old colt by Galileo. Tom Marquand's on this one for William Haggis. The horse's most recent outing came the first night of the carnival on the 2nd of January here made on a mile and a half in listed handicap, and he finished second by 1/4 lengths, and I thought he ran a terrific race. He stalked, he had to lead at the 16th, but then he kind of got overtaken late by Universal Order, who closed up from nowhere. But this horse ran a terrific race for his UAE debut. 2 back, the horse ran listed stakes at Kempton, mile and a half, 4th of December, and he won by a neck that day, and he had the speed from the inside. He quickened up nicely, and just went away with it. Very good race for this horse there. And then a Newmarket on the 2nd of November on a very heavy ground, amount of quarter listed stakes. Don't think he liked the heavy ground. He finished second by 2 1/4 lengths there. He stalked, he kind of hit the wall late, but, you know, I've seen worse races, but he still, like I said, didn't like the heavy ground. And then at Ascot, the 21st of June, a mile and a half in the King Edward Stakes, finished 5th by 8 1/2 lengths there. And that afternoon, he was with them early on, had to lead for a split portion, but then he just kind of got overtaken. Wasn't his day to win there. He hasn't won since he's only won twice. Excuse me. He won at the listed stakes at Kempton in December, and then he broke maiden at Goodwood in September 2018. Go amount quarter very nicely. But if you look at some of the horses he was facing as a 3-year-old last year, he placed behind Anthony Van Dyke in the Linkfield Derby trial. Anthony Van Dyke went on to win the Derby at Epsom. Then he placed behind Japan and Bangkok, who are 2 very good horses at Ascot. Lord North is a decent horse, and Universal Order is a decent horse. So he's been placing behind these good horses here. I think he'll definitely get the trip here second off the break. At 7-1, we'll use him here. I think another likely winner is a 10-horse Jalmund. James Doyle's on this one for Charlie Appleby. The horse's most recent outing, though, came here at Meydan a few weeks ago, a mile and a half, and he ran horribly. He beat 2 horses home, finishing 14th by 23 lengths. First off a longer break, he needed the race, but before then, the Sky Bet Voltaire Stakes at York, a mile and a half, finished 4th by 10 lengths. Again, he could have moved a little bit. Logician ran an okay race. One that they ran a terrific race, excuse me. Then went on to win the big races in France at the end of the year, won the Prix Royal Oak, I believe. But this horse, he just couldn't get going. But I've seen worse races. But he ran a decent 3rd place finish, I thought, in the Grand Prix de Paris. He ran some terrific races. I thought his pre-Eugene Adam race wasn't half bad. I think, at 12-1, second off the break, I'm going to use them all. So we'll go 2 deep here to end off the card. But to recap my selection for the 7 from Meydan, it's the Group 2 Dubai City of Gold. We'll take the 6-horse Pablo Escobar. We'll go 6-10-1 in the tri-cast trifecta, 6-10 in the multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5, and remember to join me in a few weeks' time for my Dubai World Cup preview. Good luck, everybody.